All right. Welcome back to the Disguised Horse podcast. It is me, your boy, Matthew, and our good friend,
Adam. Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Already.
I have a lot of people, specifically my beautiful, loving wife, telling me that this was a giant mistake and we weren't going to make it this far. But, you know, I live to prove her wrong in a good way, that I will follow through with a lot of things and keep up the good times.
It's definitely been good. I've gotten a lot more feedback. I never expected to get feedback after like 1 or 2 episodes, but like having people like just come like down the hallway and be like, "Hey, I listened to your podcast. That was pretty cool." I'm like, thanks, man.
Who gave you it? Who gave you the link? Yeah. Tell me more, because if you pay it forward, one person tells 2 people, and then 2 people tell 2 people. But if 1,000 people tell 2,000 people, that's like 3,000 people.
It's been pretty cool so far. So thank you to everybody who listens. We appreciate it. Yeah, the feedback's actually been really good.
Let me just say, I appreciate each and every single one of you that has listened to me, 1, shill you the podcast, and then 2, actually come through and listen to it, liking it, making comments. Like, I love it all. I can't believe y'all are actually I can't believe y'all are listening to it.
I can't believe you listen to us.
It's so funny because I just think back and I'm just like, I am the dumbest idiot I've ever met. But like, when people see me excited, they get excited. So I'm just like, okay, let's keep it up.
You got the energy.
But are you ready to talk about the dystopian future and cautionary tale that was the 1984 novel by George Orwell?
I don't think anybody wants to talk about that.
Oh my God, I don't want to either, because that shit's coming. Oh, it's coming.
1984 is coming?
1984 is coming, and I'm not super excited about it, but how's your week been?
Actually, I had a pretty rough week. So I did want to talk about it, actually. So this week going on, I had to respond to kind of an event going on around here and help someone out, and it made me learn a lot of things that I didn't know otherwise about helping people and about issues that they might have going on in their lives. And I felt like it was a good thing to bring up to anybody that wanted to listen, to talk to you about, to just kind of get a feel for how people are doing and ways that we might be able to help them with any issues that they got going on in their lives.
Yeah, dude, that's a super important topic that I think a lot of people, I'm not going to say myself, but, you know, have issues with. I think there's a big, you know, mental health epidemic.
Sure.
And I think there's a lot of things that could be fixed just by having a support structure.
Yeah,
know?
And I think talking about it, even if you might not have an issue, you probably know somebody who does, or you might not even know it. So being able to know any kind of the warning signs, the red flags, and just general ways that you can help somebody. And like, you always hear the like, oh, like be there for them. But what does that mean? So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that and how this situation affected me and the things that I learned, maybe to be able to just kind of just be there for somebody.
Yeah. And that's really kind of all it takes, is just, I don't want to say be there for people, because that's kind of I'm always here for you.
Well, I mean, that was the thing, right? Like, you always hear that, like, be there for them. You just got to be there. Like, what does that even mean?
But that's not always enough.
It's not.
It's not. It's really not, because, you know, you might not be the right person, or in other cases, you might be the one person that they connect with for, you're the same height, you know, whatever reason it might be, that person kind of latches onto you. But, you know, going forward, I think it's great if one of our segments is the Mental Health Minute.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it every single time, but I think it'd be good to have some kind of a running dialogue, especially for anybody listening that wants to reach out to us and maybe like, yeah, I'm going through a similar experience. Like, how did you deal with this? Like, and we'll be there for you.
Yeah, because once again, we're old guys. Like, we're here to talk. We're here to talk you through things. We're here to be there for you. A lot of our job when we're not podcasting is being there. And if we need to be there, even for just a conversation, you know, that's what we want to do. That's what we strive for.
And I actually think that was one of my main takeaways from any of the stuff that I was dealing with over the week is when there's situations arising and you got some stuff going on, like, a conversation is a pretty powerful thing. And it doesn't even have to be about the topic that was going on at the time. I realized just talking with somebody about nothing, just any little thing, interests, vehicles or Pokémon cards or whatever it is, like, outside of that topic to get them thinking about something else and kind of pull the attention away from that and just get them into a little bit more of a comfortable spot, it helped out a lot. And I think that was a pretty important takeaway from anything that I had going on this week.
Mental health can affect a lot of different things. I think it can show up at random times that you aren't even expecting. It doesn't take a traumatic incident for you to have, struggles in any way, shape, or form. It can be lots and lots of little things that just pile up over time, and not being able to address those issues in a positive manner can really be a daunting task to a lot of people. And I've been there before. I've struggled. It's been a wild ride. All 33 years of my life has been ups and downs, experiencing, life as a child, dealing with my parents' divorce. I know that kind of is a big factor for a lot of people. That's kind of just like the start of some of those issues, because you're a young child. You don't know how to deal with that stuff. And, next thing you know, you have 2 houses and 2 Christmases and one that's not as cool as the other one. And, your parents are fighting, and, then your parents, you grow up a little bit more, and then you have to cut people off. It's weird, and it's not comfortable. And, stress, depression, anxiety can all affect mental health and, disrupt your routine and really lead you down a path that you don't want to be down for whatever reason.
Yep, absolutely. And that's why it's important, even if that person is not you, that you're recognizing those things in the people around you, and that you're there to help them. I know we're throwing out a lot of the cliches, be there for them, the issues piling up, and the straw that broke the camel's back, but being able to catch those little things as they're going on and recognizing that in your friends or family members, it's really important. And like I said, we kind of want to have an average dialogue going on of maybe ways to identify some of those stressors in other people's lives, and maybe ways that you could help them out, ways that you could, maybe just take them aside and hey, we're going to go catch a movie real quick. You don't even have to talk in a movie, but it's just something to pull them out of that situation that could help them out, even if you're not one that's going to necessarily knows what to say. Trying to have a conversation with them, and I don't know how to deal with this. Just pulling them out of that situation can help out a lot.
I think fixation on something you're dealing with is definitely hard, because when you're dealing with something and that's all you can think about and you just can't get out of that mindset, the hardest thing is to just get out of there. You could be surprised how fast that switch flips when you're just not thinking about whatever issue you're dealing with. Even if it's for 5-10 minutes, that break is huge. It's huge. And when you're dealing with mental health issues, you might be fine on the outside, but really you're struggling, because I don't think there's a lot of brain health going on. That's a negative connotation, but when you're not I can take care of my muscles, I can run, and my lungs and everything else is fine, but you still have to be alone with your thoughts. And that can be a daunting task. If you have nothing to take it off other than, negative things, drinking, stewing, self-harm, those are all really, really heavy topics that, I don't want my friends, family to be dealing with, because, all it takes is for one negative decision to affect you for the rest of your life.
Yep, absolutely. So we do want to keep this going on. Maybe not be a huge chunk of the podcast, but it's definitely important that we keep talking about it. I know that there's a lot of podcasts that I listen to outside of The Disguised Horse. Like, comment, subscribe. But mental health is a big topic on those too, and I think it's good that people are bringing it up a lot more, because I don't think it was talked about. It was pretty taboo.
Very taboo. Growing up, it didn't. I honestly don't think your feelings really mattered growing up. And I think that was kind of, one of those things that the 90s, early 2000s, people were just oh, you have feelings? That's unfortunate. Let me make fun of you or make you feel bad for those things. And it's hey, I'm trying to deal with stuff. And it's too bad. Haha, sucks to be you. And I'm this isn't really helpful. I could really use a friend, but all you want to do is make fun of me. So I guess I'll just ball it all up and deal with it later.
Yep, just push it down deep. It definitely had that negative stigma about it of just I wanted to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I want to talk about my feelings.
Yeah, and
just,
growing up, like I didn't realize, and I wish I could have went to therapy as a kid. You know, that would have been awesome. But at the same time, I think even my parents had that stigma. It's like, well, if you talk to someone, there must be something wrong with you. It's like, no, but you guys are in a very like serious divorce right now. That's kind of affecting me, and it's like, yeah, but that's our problem, not your problem. But like, you know,
yeah,
here's another Nintendo, right?
Yeah. It's a good decompression tool, though, Nintendo.
I think having a hobby, you know, something that you can turn to, as long as it's a positive thing, like I wouldn't make your hobby, you know, drinking, you know, doing drugs, self-harm. But if you had like a hobby where you could be like, man, I'm really dealing with some stuff, but I have this really sick group of friends who like to ride bikes. They like to play Pokemon cards. They like to be there for me when I'm struggling. I think that's something very positive, you know, because hopefully they're not the one that's causing you the stress or pain or anxiety, but they're the ones that are just like, let's just have a fucking good time. We're not here for a long time. Let's have a good time, right?
Yep, absolutely. Positive hobbies.
Positive vibes, positive hobbies, and hopefully one day we can help make a change that's going to really, really help people in the long run. Even
if it's just like one person, I think I'd be happy with that. If one person came to us out of this podcast and like, hey, I listened to that episode, I want to talk to you, I'd feel pretty good about that.
I would feel fucking amazing. But speaking of hobbies, I think we're going to roll right into hashtag nostalgia.
Nostalgia. It was pretty popular.
I can't believe how popular it was.
I actually got quite a bit of feedback from people like, I really loved hashtag nostalgia. So, yeah.
Dude, unbelievable. Like this, I didn't think it would be as fun as it was, but you know, just reminiscing and thinking about stuff, and like, it's like hashtag nostalgia. Like that can be last week, you know?
Yep.
And but I think we're gonna go a little bit further back than that because did you ever play with Pokemon cards?
I collected Pokemon cards.
I
never actually got into the game. But, yeah, I got into the currency that was Pokemon cards for children because that's definitely what it was.
Oh my goodness. So I used to play like as a kid. I'd have badges and it'd be like some 25-year-old dude who had more money than me, so he'd have a better deck, but I'd still be like, well, I got the sick Pikachu and I got 3 energies. Suck it, nerd. And be like, okay, but here's my really, really good card, so sucks. And I was like, ugh. I always wondered why I could never win, but I would go to, I think it was called Dragon's Lair.
That's awesome.
It was a bunch of folding table.
It's still a bunch of folding tables.
I don't know if it's there anymore, but man, I swear that was what I lived for. Like Pokemon cards, I still have them. I've actually currently trying to sell them. I'm having a hard time because I just don't want to give them up.
They're just that piece of your childhood, that memory. Funny story about Pokemon cards. Actually, my mom found my binder of Pokemon cards like a year ago in like a closet or a random box or something in the house, and she sent them to me, and I was like, oh, cool. Like I got my old Pokemon cards. And I didn't know how valuable they were. I was like, I have nothing to do with these. So I put them up on Facebook Marketplace. So I put them up for, I think it was like a couple $100 or something like that. And immediately just blew up. Everybody wanted them. And I took it down. And I took it to a buddy of mine at a game store. And I was like, hey, I'm trying to sell these. Like, you know how much they're worth? And he's like, how much are you trying to sell it for? I was like, I don't know, like $200. He's like, that card right there alone is worth $200.
Ooh, so good.
I was like, oh, cool. And I had like these 2 nerds at the folding tables you were talking about came over.
It's always folding tables.
And they're looking at my binder and they're like, dude, I'll buy that card from you right now. I'll buy it right now. One of them had to go get money from his mom. And like they bought a couple of the cards and I ended up selling the rest. Yeah. Mom. Just mouth breathing to his mom, please. He's got a shining Magikarp. But yeah, so I ended up selling all of them, and fun fact, that is how I bought my bike that I'm currently building into a chopper.
That's sick. Well, I mean, you turned a positive hobby into another positive hobby, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm jealous. Every time I go, it's like, oh, my boss isn't here. And I'm just like, bro, I drove 35 minutes to get here because you said, like, well, you know, boss man isn't here. It's Sunday. And I'm just like, I guess I'll get there eventually. Oh, well. Did you ever used to trade them at school? Did you ever get your binder taken away?
I did get my binder taken away a couple times. Yeah, for sure. Stop bringing your cards to school.
Don't you know that it's satanic? And I was just like,
You hear that? You hear that?
I don't understand. Can you explain? Like, no, it's just not okay. And then you'd watch these like weird like Oprah videos, and they're like, yeah, just next time your teachers take away your Pokemon cards, say I'm learning how to use strategy. And I was like, what? No one's gonna buy that shit.
I just wanted a Pikachu. I don't know about strategy.
Yeah, what are you talking about strategy? She's like, well, when you battle the different elements, you're learning different. I was like, Oprah.
It sounds like witchcraft.
It sounds like witchcraft, which got me thinking. And I was like, people didn't really think this was satanic. And, we were talking about like hashtag nostalgia, what we should do. And then we were talking about the Pokemon cards. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should Google that. That's actually pretty fucking interesting. And I was like, why did people think it was satanic? Any ideas?
I would assume probably just the battling of the elements. Like that's a pretty, well, maybe not satanic, but witchcrafty thing, fire, earth, water.
Yes, like alchemy and stuff like that.
But satanic? I don't know about
satanic. Like, it's like, it's a Pikachu. And your parents are like, it's an electric mouse. And I'm like, okay, it's a cartoon also.
It's a cartoon electric mouse. Like Magic the Gathering, that one I could see because like the old school Magic art, like that one straight up had pentagrams and demons in it.
Yeah, I can definitely see Magic, but like Pokemon, I was just like, I don't know, maybe there's like a giant disconnect between like our generation and the one before us, or like where people actually like, it's the 80s and people are just like, yeah. Well, I guess there was like, what's his nuts? The Charles Manson dude.
Yeah.
But Conspiracy Corner in the future, didn't he turn out to be like a CIA operative and is living in his dream in a prison now?
Yeah, that's definitely going to need to be a segment.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
So I decided to do some digging because I thought this was too much of an opportunity to pass up. So I was like,
tell me more.
Oh, don't you worry. So when Pokemon was first created, the hype came fast. I don't know about you, but I had red, blue, yellow, all the colors, all the Pokemon, everything had to be my birthday was Pokemon, everything was Pokemon. And people started to think it was like witchcraft. And I was also like, this is super duper weird.
Maybe it's like the tarot cards thing. Like they think it has something to do with the tarot cards just because you're playing a card game.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because maybe it's a card game. But I think this all really stemmed from an interview that the creator of Pokemon, Satoshi Tajiri, did with Time Magazine. So they were like, oh, this is anti-Christian. And I guess he started to just kind of roll with the punches. And he's like, yeah, the games are tailored toward an anti-Christian sentiment or Satanism. What?
I don't know.
I don't get how. And I think he might have just been like the earliest troll we know of because he was actually just fucking with like an American magazine. Because, I mean, who wouldn't at that point in time?
He's probably just like, yeah, negative publicity. This is going to be all over the news. Now everyone's going to know about Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon. All they have to hear is Pokemon, and then, they're going to see it in Target.
Yep.
And then their kids are going to be like, oh, I heard about Pokemon. That looks fun. Oh, my God, it's got a cute mouse on it. Better get it. And I don't know if this guy, that he had to be a troll. He said basically Pokemon is essentially the correct answer towards life, being free, being able to capture bugs, because that's what he did as a kid. He was like, oh, I want to capture these bugs, and then I'm going to categorize them and
make them fight.
And then one day make them fight.
Make them fight each other.
And not so much Christianity. I think he said some have said that the game promotes voodoo or magic, and he agrees that there may have been things that occur in nature that are unexplainable. But the violence in the games is unparalleled. It's may show up in the actual graphics, but the brutality is made especially Olympic in the Pokedex entries. And I don't know if you've ever read some of those. I wish I had like an example, but there's one.
Like, was it Cubone wears the skull of his dead mother, right?
Yeah. Brutal. And there's another one. I think it's like Lantern or something like that. Anyways, it's this little guy who looks like a lantern, and he hangs out near children's hospitals and would take the souls of the children away. So he's just camping, right? And I think this was just a giant troll, and he just remembered that his parents were just like super I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but just like super overarching, and always had this like mentality of just being over them and condescending and doing everything their own certain way that just really didn't promote like a healthy childhood. And he just wanted a way to express himself. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to turn this into a game. It took him about 7 years, 6-7 years to get the first, game produced and out there, and get all the bugs,
all the bugs out,
all the bugs out of the system. But man, once it hit. Like it's still,
it's still huge.
It's still 1994, 95. We're rolling up on almost 30 years now. Like that's huge. I can't think of anything else that's been around for 30 years other than myself. And let me tell you, I wasn't that interesting 30 years ago.
Yeah, Pokemon. I mean, it's still going strong. You got all the apps on the phone now.
Pokemon
Go. And
that was huge.
They're tying them back to the cards, too. They have those bundle packs that you can buy that like connect to your phone or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I saw a new set coming out that's like the Pokemon Go set. Ifs and nuts or candies and butts, I guess.
Fun fact, I almost bought one of those sets for your kid.
Oh,
yeah.
She would appreciate that. Oh, yeah, this week was a big week.
Big week.
Yeah, kid turned 7.
Back to school.
Oh, God. My whole life has turned upside down. We're just trying new drop-off techniques, and times have changed. And
I feel like my wife's happy with the silence in the house because I got 3 kids. 2 of them are in school now, so she just got the baby. And like when he goes down for a nap, she's just got silence. So she's probably pretty stoked.
That's the hype of all hype. Once that kid's asleep, we're just like, yes. Almost gone.
Just one more.
And he's pretty chill. So, I mean, he seems chill.
He's chill.
So I can only imagine when he goes down, she's just like, I'm almost there.
I can finally be productive.
Yeah. 4 more years. 4 more years. No, mine are both in school, and they're just as sassy as ever, man. Dude.
I'm definitely not looking forward to like the teenage years with my daughter.
I'm actually excited. I don't know why. I have my little girl, and I'm just like, I can't wait.
I kind of wish my son would have been born first. That way when like she brings home like the boyfriend that I don't approve of, I can just be to my son and be like, hey, you need to beat this kid up.
You need to fuck that kid up.
Because I can't do it. I don't feel like going to prison. So can you just rock this dude?
You're just sitting in the back polishing a shotgun?
Yeah.
Like, you can date my daughter, but you spit a dip.
Yeah. So actually when I met my wife, I rode up high school me with my mohawk and my motorcycle, and my wife's dad pulled me into the living room, and he's just like, hey, you see all those guns? Massive gun case on the wall. I know how to use every single one of them. And that was like my intro to her family.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm Adam.
No, he's a cool guy.
Now he's cool.
Now he's cool. Now that I don't have a mohawk.
Yeah.
Still got the motorcycle though.
It took how many years?
I had it all through high school pretty much, from like the end of my freshman year, probably. I don't know. I probably had it
years to get him to like you.
Oh, to get him to like me? I'm still working on it. I think we're cool now.
Oh, man. That's funny. I remember my wife finally agreed to move in with me, and I was like crying to her mom, and I was like, I just love her so much, and I just want her to come live with me, and like I just want to live your daughter. And she's like, sure.
Okay.
You got it from here, bud. I guess moving on. I mean, shit. Are you ready for Conspiracy Corner?
I have an interesting one, I think. At least it was interesting to me.
It's probably going to be interesting to me then, because we're all like on the same.
And you do like space. It does have to do with space.
I love space.
Okay, so you ready?
Have you seen the artwork on our channel?
I have seen it.
Space.
So actually, it's kind of 2 conspiracy theories, but they came from the same place. So it was like the early 2000s. Stephen Hawking bet these physicists.
I'm sorry, Stephen Hawking bet someone?
Yeah, he bet him $100, right? Gordon Kane, this physicist at CERN, where they have the Large Hadron Collider.
Oh yeah, the one that creates black holes or something like that.
Yeah, so that's part of the conspiracy theory, right? So he bet him $100 that this dude couldn't find the Higgs boson particle. Do you know what that is?
I think so.
So it's the God particle. They say it's like it is like
yeah.
the basic building block for all matter in the universe, right? He bet him $100 that he's like, you guys will never find it.
Just 100?
Just
Isn't he
100.
like a billionaire?
I mean, I don't know. They're scientists. Like, probably.
Money doesn't matter to
so,
us.
So he bet him $100 that you'll never find the God particle. And he's like, bet. So in 2012, they discovered it, right? So the conspiracy theories go that when they were smashing atoms in the Hadron Collider, that they actually popped what they call the bubble of the universe, right? Because so the Higgs boson particle, being the basic building block for the universe, like it gives all particles their mass, and it's like a razor's edge between stability and instability. So what they think happened was when these particles collided and they found the God particle, that it popped the bubble of the expanding universe, and it's actually collapsing in on us. So the world ended in 2012 and we don't know it yet.
What?
Because the bubble collapsing is traveling at the speed of light, and when it hits us, there's going to be no warning.
What?
Chew on that.
I'm trying to. Okay, so what you're saying is that there's an ever-expanding universe, right?
So
There was an ever-expanding universe. And light, so the speed of light, it's not a measure of speed, but it's a measure of like distance, right?
Traveled, yeah.
It's the distance that light travels. A light particle travels over the course of a year, right?
Yes.
So that could be X distance, right?
Right.
So for the past 10 years, it's been
collapsing
collapsing on us.
Yep. So
oh my God.
So eventually I think they actually like mathed it out, and it's like 1 with 100 zeros behind it years before it'll get to us, but there's no warning. So they're saying
thank God.
The theory is that the universe is currently collapsing because Gordon Kane found the God particle, right?
Fucking Gordon Kane.
He ruined it all.
Son of a bitch.
So the other theory that went along with that is they actually did create a black hole when they found it, and the Earth was actually sucked into the black hole, and we just haven't realized it yet.
Fucking mind right now.
We just haven't realized it yet.
So what's on the other side of the black hole?
We don't know. Alternate reality?
Gordon.
Get at me, bro. You want to be a guest on the podcast? Come explain this to us.
Yeah, because my feeble mind is still grasping the 1 with 100 zeros worth of years, right?
Yep.
So let's say we're around at that point in time. Are we going to be able to see it before it happens?
I'm probably not, right? Because speed of light. Mm-hmm. So what they said, like if the sun went out, we wouldn't know for 7 minutes, right?
Right.
So theoretically, if that bubble is collapsing at the speed of light and it hits us, the sun and all the stars should still be there, at least most of them, before we ever know. So it's just going to collapse and we'll have no warning.
This is... What? Like, would it? Oh my God, that's wild.
I just blew your mind.
I did.
You
did.
You
did. I did. You did. You blew my fucking mind. That's the point of Conspiracy Corner.
Conspiracy Corner. I thought that was a good one,
dude. That's a great.
I was doing my research on coming back after your awesome conspiracy theory, and I found that one. I was like, that's the one. That's it.
That's it. Yes. That's wild. Oh my God. I'm still trying to like process this. Okay.
Yeah. So we all died in 2012, or
so how many generations away from us right now is 1 with 100 zeros?
So I don't know what generation you could average lifespan. We'll say 80 years. Yep. So do the maths. I mean, you're talking probably. Wow. Actually, when you get out to 100 zeros, you're probably talking double that amount in generation. So we're probably talking like 2 with 100 zeros generations away.
Shit. I don't think we're going to have to worry about it then.
No, I think we're good. Don't sell your house.
Yeah, don't sell your
Don't
house
get in your bunkers yet.
Soon. I think at that point, they're going to be talking about us like we talk about dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're going to find
Can you believe they still had hair and such small heads?
We found this microphone that these primitives used to use to talk to each other and have just people sit there and listen to it.
Could you imagine if they cataloged all the digital information and we're just like still able to access it? And there's some asshole and 1 plus 100 euros right now, just like, have you heard the Disguised Horse? Cause
I found this super retro podcast. It'll change your life.
They still use their mouths to talk and not their asses.
They don't communicate telepathically. It's so retro.
So weird. So just to kind of, keep Conspiracy Corner going. So like, how they talk about the Greys, like the aliens?
Yeah.
They just think they're us in the future because
we
evolved, right? And, maybe the grays are just listening to the podcast.
I've heard that one, but not that it's us in the future and we've created time travel and we're just kind of coming back and like they're correcting things that would have ended us.
Ooh, kind of like the Titanic.
Kind of like the Titanic. Yeah, like tie back to episode 1, kind of like the Titanic. Time travelers.
Oh man, I love referencing old episodes. But yeah, Jack, that fucking time traveling asshole. Well, I mean, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna deal with the rest of the day after that.
You go home, tell your family, the world ended in 2012.
Wife, can you believe that they think someone found the God particle and just straight up fucked us?
It's all over.
It's all over. It's all downhill from here. But man, this has been a wild ride. I mean, once again, we got the mental health minute.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we're gonna make that a thing.
Definitely keep that going.
Maybe one day we'll be able to do like a fundraiser.
Sure.
Help all our brothers in arms out and, you know, get the care they need or make it more accessible or give an opportunity to realize maybe I can go talk to these guys or these gals, however your support system works.
Yep. Or reach out to us.
Hey, reach out through the comments. We'll answer you back. I don't know if you can DM us on YouTube, but, you know, DM us in real life. Whatever.
Sure.
It'll work. We got Instagram. We don't have Facebook. We don't have Facebook. Maybe DM us on Instagram. We'll get you taken care of. But, dude, it's always a good time. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I know I have. And I can't wait till we do this again.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, again for listening. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.